Okay, so welcome to the module on energy management. This module I'm going to deliver mostly in Miro, so I'm going to drop the link in the chat, but I'm also going to screen share. I think you can actually entirely follow it via screen share because I'm just using Miro instead of PowerPoint for the fun of it because I wanted to, use different kind of media. But still, I'm going to get you the link ready. So I hope this is all going to work out. Please let me know if you can access the board.
I will try.
Because my idea was to also post this link later. By the way, you're supposed to be in the top left corner. I think there's still an old board from another module somewhere around there, but there's a board where it has the board energy management in its middle, and that's where you're supposed to head.
Surprisingly, it doesn't work.
Oh, really? I didn't expect that.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, now I'm going to start screen sharing, I guess. So Motam can also follow. But as I said, I'm mostly using it as a replacement for PowerPoint. So also there's no need to be on the board. Okay, so energy management, as I've said. I mostly split this into two parts, managing your committee's energy, but also managing your own energy. I think especially the latter part is very often neglected in energy management modules. It's very often seen as part of like welfare, but I think it's also very important for your working. And for me, it's an essential part of energy management. But first of all, an important note, energy management is something that should be planned as much or almost as much as your time. So energy management is usually seen as this kind of weird input to committee work that you somehow have in mind, and once in a while you throw a random energizer in there. But it's not something people think of thoroughly very often before the session. However, it is very often worth to do so, because if you are aware when your committee might reach a low point, if you are aware that usually after lunches, committees are a bit more sleepy, that the human body is made to be a bit more tired directly after eating. If you have these things in mind, it helps your planning a lot. And then you're not going to plan your super important and big and tiring things right after lunch or right after, I don't know, dinner. But you're going to plan it at moments where you expect your committee to be a bit more energized, be a bit more fresh in their minds. So keeping energy levels in mind and leaving some space to adjust your energy levels is a great way of making the session a more enjoyable experience and a less stressful one for your own planning. Okay, that being said, let's move on to the first part, energy management in your committee. So I've split that also into 3 parts. First of all is energizer, second is de-energizer, and third is openness. We're going to start at the very top. So I think everyone has already done energizers. You guys know what energizers are. Energizers are little games designed to give you energy, to wake you up, to give you the ability to focus again after whatever you've been doing before. Yeah, energizers usually require a lot of moving, which I think is especially important at digital sessions. We all sit in front of our laptops, we sit at home, we sit in the same chair all day. We don't even have to transfer, from the hostel to the venue or whatever. Especially at digital sessions, it's important to get people moving. So that's why I think energizers, which require a lot of moving, are very suited for the session that we're having. I've put down a few of my favorites here. Those that have access to the Miro board, you can put down yours there. I'm very sure you guys know a lot of energizers that I don't. So if you have cool ideas, just drop them there. I'm pretty sure someone's going to make use of it. Yeah, also sometimes it's adding an extra kick if you let your committee do an energizer together with another committee. It's always fun to change a bit the atmosphere or the virtual room. And usually, yeah, it's also giving your committee an extra kick if you have some kind of competitive element in there. So yeah, energizers, you know what they're for, you know what they are. The question's a bit more when to use them. Well, you use them, you might use them when you have the feeling that your committee is particularly sleepy, that they just need to move for a while, that they need to get their mind off the topic for a while, that they cannot focus, then it might be a good time to do an energizer. However, it is sometimes also helpful to have a de-energizer. So that gets me to de-energizers. They're a bit less known, I think, but they're equally important because no one can sustain a very high level of energy the whole day. We're not made to focus on one thing the whole day. And even if you constantly try to boost their energy and get them back to this point where they're highly focused, you're not going to reach that. That is also why our schedule has breaks. That's why we take these moments to get out of this whole thing, relax a bit, chill, take our minds off and just be by ourselves. But you can also do that as a chair outside of the scheduled breaks. You know, sometimes when you have a feeling your committee just needs a moment and it doesn't need to jump around and shake their arms and legs, you might as well have a coffee chat with them. You can tell them all, yo, get yourself a drink. We're just gonna relax here for 5 minutes. We're just gonna get our mind off this. We're gonna chat about something different for a while. You can find yourself a nice YouTube meditation. You can listen to some relaxing music. There's also this fun game, which is called The Machine. It's really one of my favorites, where you let every delegate do a repetitive sound. So something like doom, 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 doom. And they can all just pick whatever. And at a certain point, it just gets very rhythmic and it sounds like a weird machine. It's very calming. It's very relaxing. At the beginning, they all laugh, but after a while, everyone's just enjoying this very repetitive sound pattern. And it can help to calm them down also if they're overly energized, because that can of course also happen. Sometimes your energizers go a bit wrong and they just don't want to sit still anymore and they're all a bit too, you know, moving and jumping around. Especially at physical sessions, you can have that, but also at digital ones. So if you want to relax your delegates, if you want to calm them a bit, if you want to give them some space and time to gather their thoughts and to focus again, you might as well use a de-energizer. And as I said, here are a few suggestions. It is, of course, in every situation up to you to judge what you need, whether you need to energize them more or whether you need them to, you know, take a step back. But I think sometimes it is also just worth asking them, you know? Sometimes you can also just say, hey, okay, guys, we have 10 minutes buffer time now. Do you want an energizer or do you just want to take a short break? And then they can also give you the hint of what they need. So make use of that. And yeah, be aware that it's not always about just increasing their energy level, but sometimes it is also just about, you know, calming everyone down a little bit. So those are the two main tools, I'd say, to manage your committee's energy level. However, there's always a tool that I also really like to talk about that I also already addressed with time management, which is letting your committee manage itself a little bit. So being open with them and helping them to help themselves. So with energy management, you, of course, as a chair, should try to keep track of your committee's energy level. But there are people on the other side of a laptop. You might not know how high their energy level is. It might happen that you think they're all super tired, but actually they're all just very concentrated. Or you think they're all very concentrated, but actually everyone's watching YouTube videos on the side. So you can make use of plenty of tools to give them the chance to indicate to you what their current energy level is. So a lot of people like to do that on the Miro boards. You can draw energy bars, which the committee can fill in themselves. I've also seen like funny pictures of like from this person sleeping on the floor to like this person, I don't know, jumping around, where are you? And then they can move their icons around or whatever. You can be as creative as you wish in that. And this might just help you to monitor their energy levels and to be aware of what they need right now. another important note on that, of course, you want to make sure that they don't abuse of it. So as it can happen that delegates who have become aware of the concept of energizers keep requesting them and keep telling you of about how tired they are and how much they need an energizer as a way of avoiding work. So that is why it is, of course, important that you get your own impression of the situation. But I think especially in the digital setting, we need to rely a bit more on the indication of the delegates, which they give themselves. But then again, that is also why you want to make sure they're aware of time being a constraint, because if they know that time that there is no time for like 6 energizers per hour, then they're able to manage that themselves and they're able to request an energizer only if they truly need it. So I'm personally a big fan of being rather open with my committees, but that is totally up to you. But I think that if they are aware that time is a constraint, but also their energy level is important, then they're able to judge themselves as well when they need an energizer or when they need an extra break. So monitor yourself and make use of openness as much as you personally wish to. Any questions on this so far? Okay, so that was mostly tools to manage the energy level of your committee. Now a brief excursion on managing your own energy. So sessions are exhausting. We all know that. We all devote several days of our lives to this, usually 10 to 12 hours a day. It is important to not only keep the energy of your committee in mind, but also your own. You guys are going to be very busy throughout the session. There are going to be a lot of people who want things from you. Your committee wants to be managed. Your VP is going to annoy you about your self-development or what you're doing right now, or can you please give me some feedback, or what are they doing, or can I help you? And there's going to be a media team member who wants to take pictures with the committee and who wants to have a statement from you. There are a lot of things going on at the session, especially if you're a chairperson. So it is really important to keep in mind that also you as a person cannot maintain a 100% energy level the whole day. So also you yourself should think about, how am I schedule my day such that I don't need to work on 100% energy level the whole day. And that is mostly by minding yourself, by making sure your planning allows for breaks for yourself, but also through a few other things, which I've basically gathered under the headers of with awareness, discipline, and honesty, which makes it sound fancier than it is, but I'm just going to start from the top. So awareness, as I've said it, you guys are going to be very busy throughout the session. There's a lot going on, and you should be aware of the fact that your own energy level is as important as your committee's. It's not helpful to your committee either if you're super tired, even if they are energized. So be aware that your own energy is something important and make sure that you monitor it yourself. Or if you're bad at that, some people have a difficulty minding their own energy, then ask someone else to do it. You know, there are these concepts of welfare buddies, of someone reminding you to take a glass of water. I'm also going to annoy you on that. Make sure you're keeping track of your own energy, and if you can't do it, let someone else do it for you. Make sure you don't ask yourself to work on your full level the whole day. And recognize if you need a break. So that on awareness. Discipline, it might sound a bit contradictory, but it is very easy to overuse your energy, or to think, oh no, I can do this. I can go on for another 2 hours. I don't need a break now. I'm fine. I'll just get it done first, and after that I'm going to take a break. And you know, like, this is important right now. I should be working on this. No, I'm not going to take a break. No, this is not what we're doing here. You do need the breaks. You do need time to calm down. You cannot sustain a high energy level for multiple hours. So when there is a break scheduled, do take the break. Make sure you grant yourself the time to get down a bit. Make sure you drink, make sure you sleep enough. Short burst energy methods like coffee, energy drinks, we all love them. We all use them once in a while, but be careful with them. Don't overdo them. You're not meant to live on coffee throughout the session. You're really not. So be disciplined in that sense. If you've scheduled a break for that point, then also have the discipline to take that break. And as much as we request all of you to be available throughout the session, I very much rather have you take a 10 minutes break and turn all of your electronic stuff off than you having a breakdown after 3 days. So if you need a break, have the discipline to turn off your phone, to go for a walk for 10 minutes, to not fall into the FOMO of, ooh, but there's this lunch break fun thing going on. If you want to join that, if that's relaxing you, do it. But if you think it's more beneficial for you actually to take time for yourself, then have the discipline to do that on discipline. But also again here, if you have a hard time with that, find yourself, someone in your buddy group, someone from a different team maybe, or even your emotional buddy VP to keep track of that, someone who reminds you that this has been your 4th cup of coffee today and that it should be your last, someone to remind you that it's break time now and you should not be working on whatever. And then last but not least, discipline goes hand in hand with honesty. You should be honest with yourself and realize that this was actually the 4th coffee and that there should be no 5th one. Be honest if you feel like you're running out of energy, if you feel like you need a break, even though there is none scheduled. That is totally fine. Someone can take over your committee for a while. You can invite a media team member to play an energizer with them. You can invite an organizer to, I don't know, do some other fun activity with them. If you are honest enough with yourself to admit that you're running low on energy and that you need a break, that is the thing every board loves to see. We love to see chairs being honest about their needs, and especially needs in terms of energy management and breaks. Because of course we don't want anyone here to get a burnout, to be overworked at the end of the day. So again, I'd much rather have you telling me, hey, can you chair my committee for like 20 minutes? Because I really can't at the moment. Than having a serious talk with you at the end of the day because you're not able to do the rest of the session because you got sick or whatever. So be honest with us, be honest with yourself. If you need time to breathe, then take it and let us know. Yeah. That was my little serious talk on managing your own energy. Are there any questions on that matter?
Not really, but can you maybe send the presentation and the board, the Miro board, to the chat, like somewhere in Chair's chat?
Sure.
I want to revisit it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna remember.
Or maybe a screenshot of the Miro board.
Oh yeah, that.
I will.
Non-discriminating, Muhtaram, sorry.
Yes. So I will send both the screenshot and I will send the link to the Miro. But yeah.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any special hints or experiences with energy management where you'd say this is still something I would like to share? Anything that comes to your mind? Just want to make sure that you guys also had a chance to talk if you want.
Well, actually, I would like to receive some hints on energy management rather than say it myself. But if you guys have any, like, please.
But on something specific, more on yourself or more on your committee, or
both really will be great. I mean, I will definitely revisit this board and reread like the energizer part and energizer part, like basically everything. But still, like, if you guys have anything like from your experience, I would like to hear that, to listen to that. I mean, but if no, it's also right. I mean, Mako and I will definitely follow this energy management board. So.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
that was also the idea why I made it a Miro board. It's very easy to come back to it. Also, I'm gonna, when I send a message in the chairs group, I will also ask them to fill in their favorite energizers. So that gives us all more ideas. You know, I'm learning something new as well every time. And if you ever feel at a certain point at the session that you're a bit lost with this, or you find it hard at that moment to judge your committee's energy, you can of course always reach out to us. And I can also send a few ideas from my boards on how to like track a committee's energy level. There are a lot of fun ways. I've seen a lot of fun stuff being done. So if that's appreciated, then I'm going to make sure to get that to you, Asha.
Thank you.
Great. Well, if there are no more questions, then I think that's about it. So then I'm not sure if Nico is here and still has something to say.
Yes, I am. Yeah, no, it was, yeah, no, it was, I was listening the entire time, and I don't have anything to add. It was definitely very, very beneficial.
Well,
maybe we can stop the recording.
Oh God, I forgot that. Okay, to everyone who's watching this back, goodbye.